great show tonight, man. But we gotta bring on our guy, man. Top 5, what's goody?
Hey, yo, top five website.com. You already know what's going on. How y'all doing?
What's
Hey,
good,
man,
bro?
goody, man. What's goody?
Man,
What's
how about
going
yourself,
on,
bro?
I'm ready to talk some shit. Let's talk about these weak rappers, man. Let's do it.
Hit that sound effect for him, Ice
to
Boy.
that.
Hit that sound effect.
Hey, man,
You
come
ready?
on, man. Hey,
Yes, sir.
There you go.
this is the thing, though, man. Like, again, websites pinned to the top. If you, first of all, let's be clear. Let me turn the music off. If you are a MC, you know what I'm saying? You got an album, you got some stuff going on, man. Like top 5 rap website, man. Submit your music, man. Holla at your boy,
Yep.
you know what I'm saying? Like, hey, man, he's in there. But again, like I said, if you been under a rock, you know what I'm saying? Like top 5,
Right.
man, Troy.
Appreciate
I've been
you on the
watching. I've been
platform,
watching your
brother.
channel for a while, man. But the whole thing, man, and they coming through. Hold up, man. Antoine's the show sponsor today with the $5 holla, man.
Man,
started
Antoine did it
early.
because
Antoine.
Top Five's in the building.
Antoine.
See,
my guy,
he
salute my
even
guy.
donated 5. See, he did it for
$5
the
holla.
Top
Man, come
5.
on.
So appreciate you, Antoine.
$5
Hey,
holla.
man,
Appreciate
where'd
it,
the love
bro.
for hip hop come from, and how that turned into basically you podding, man, but also, man, the website, which is crazy, by the way.
All
Yeah,
right.
so hip hop, I mean, I feel like a lot of people got stories about how they got into hip hop, you know what I mean? Whether it was a certain artist, whether it was a certain time in hip hop. But for me, like my parents grew up listening to hip hop. Hip hop is like what, 52 years old right now?
Yeah.
And
So
it's
that's
for,
about my
yeah.
parents' age. Like they about 52, 53. So they grew up listening to hip hop,
You grew up on it. Yup.
EPMD, Slick Rick, Poor Righteous
Mhm.
Teachers,
Come on now.
Outkast.
Come on.
So for me, I just when it was my time, I was already born on hip hop. Like when I was coming of age, I was listening to. Well, we didn't really listen to Nas or Jay like that when I was growing up as a kid, but E40, like I said, EPMD, Dre, Snoop. So when I came of age, it was just natural. So I don't really have like a story about how I got into hip hop. I guess I'm just a product of hip hop naturally.
Okay.
Was there an artist or group that really like served as the linchpin for you, whether it's in or outside of hip hop, that really had you say, you know what, yeah, this is something I gotta dive into, when the time is right, with your Top 5 platform or otherwise.
Mill Bix
Right.
with Charlotte.
So with hip hop, with the music, when I was a kid, my favorite rapper was Tupac. I mean, obviously
Okay,
from LA,
okay.
like Tupac from I
Okay.
think from
All right,
Harlem
let's
or
go. Let's go.
something. But obviously he was the biggest artist in LA. But when I actually came of age and started finding my own music, that was the blog era. So Kendrick, Cole, Wiz, Nipsey, Freddie Gibbs, all that. So that was the time I came of age. So those were the artists that when I was started picking my own music, that's who I was choosing to listen to. But as
Okay.
far as the website go, I started the website like in high school. You can go if you look at the oldest post on my website, top5rapwebsite.com. It's probably like May 2010 or May 2011. So the website has been up because back then everyone had blogs. This is the blog era. You had Two Dope Boys, you had Not Right, Ill Roots. Everybody had blogs. So I was like, let me
Right.
create mine. Because when I was in school, my friends used to always ask me like, "What's the new music that's?" Because I was up on like the blogs and the shit that was dropping. So they was always asking me like, "Yo, what new music dropped? What just came out?" And I couldn't remember all of it, so I just created like a little WordPress and then just put the new music up I was fucking with, and then that just evolved into me reviewing music and then doing videos as the blog era phased out. And yeah, now we here. Now I do a live stream every week on Friday around 6 p.m. Pacific time. And yeah, I do album reviews is what my website on my YouTube is mainly based on. I mainly do album reviews and album reactions, but I do some social commentary and some commentary on these rappers. But I guess we'll get to that later, huh?
Well, and this is the thing too, man. Like speaking of 2024, man. Like it's what is it? It's about to be April. You know what I mean? Like by some of y'all lazy cats see this joint gonna be April. What's your thoughts on some of the albums that dropped in the chat too? J Camp, Top 5, Bebo P, the chat. We talk about all this music that's dropping, right? You know what I'm saying? Oh, Benny the Butcher dropped. You know what I'm saying? Back. You know what I'm saying? But what's the staying power though? Is there any album that you heard this year? J Camp, Top 5 started off, Bebo P, the chat. what's the album that in your mind or albums that are staying power? Because again, Nas kind of ran hip hop 50. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, he did.
Hit Boy kind of ran it. You know what I'm saying? On not even on the low, but we know Hit Boy was crazy as shit. Who you thinking though? Top 5?
So if the question is there any albums from 2024 for me that have stuck that I think stand out, the answer is no. There are none, in my opinion. And I'm kind of looking at the Rate Your Music charts. It just shows all the drops from this year that are hip hop. I'm looking at them. Nothing really stands out. I mean, Mike had a new album. If you listen to 10 Crescetta Records, which Earl Sweatshirt, Navy Blue.
Yeah.
Mike had a record.
Yeah.
He's good, but I mean, in a given year, for me, he's never going to have like the number 1 or number 2 album. He just consistently has really good albums. But as far as something that stands out, I fuck with Mike heavy. But okay, let's give it to him, right? Let's say, okay, Mike had one of them ones.
Yeah.
I'm looking at it.
Okay.
ScHoolboy Q dropped Blue Lips, which I wasn't really a fan of. And I really fuck with ScHoolboy Q.
We do too.
Blue Lips to me was like, it was mad inconsistent. It just felt like a compilation album. It felt like just a bunch of random songs, like too many beat switches. It's his weakest album. And this is ScHoolboy Q. This is someone who normally has a very tight and intentional theme throughout his albums. If you look at Habits and Contradictions, Blank Face, Oxymoron, there's always like something deeper below the surface with his albums. It's on his Blue Lips albums, it's not like that. It's just songs. I'm looking Boldy James and Nicholas Craven. Okay, cool. I'm not really a Boldy James fan like that.
Okay.
Bro, there's really,
Okay.
please point it. If someone has a different opinion, point out to me where the fire is. From
Hey, this
week.
thing, the chat right now, they saying Ransom. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, we give it to him. I
like
heard the Ransom drop.
I like that Ransom
Yeah.
joint. You know, so salute the
Ransom
Ransom.
drop. I Am God.
I Am God. Yeah, the
friend of this-
Bloodstain.
To me,
Sway.
I Am
2.
God got the best album to drop.
Yeah, I don't know if you heard that yet. Top 5, but it's hot though. Yeah.
We're
Big
talking about
Spencer
albums that
had-
stand out, though. Albums that stand out, not just good albums. Some that stand out.
No, I mean I feel like the Bloodstain 2 though, Sway 2. I feel like that stands out for me personally, from what I've heard thus far. We still young in the year, but what I've heard thus far, that one stands out for me. I do agree with the chat too, Ransom, and my guy Vic Spencer. Them 3 albums that dropped this year for me are pretty much solid. I like the Mike too though. Mike is in there as well. Those 4. I definitely wasn't digging the Q though.
I see you quiet over there, Bebo. What you thinking?
Well, I was thinking about top 5. Who top 5 is really looking forward to having a standout album in 2024? Like, who do you foresee, like, kind of breaking that mold in this year, artist wise, in hip hop?
Well, it depends who drops.
Predictor.
Sure. So it depends who drops. So, like some of my favorite rappers, Kendrick, ScHoolboy Q. I mean, and I catch a lot of flack for this. Even Lil Sims, they've all dropped like in the past year or 2, and I don't think any of their albums have been that memorable. I didn't like the Kendrick, Mr. Morale, Big Steppers album. I'm sure we're going to get to his verse, so I'll save my, on like that. So I'll save my thoughts on that. I'm not really the major artists, in my opinion, who I've dropped, including Drake, who I really don't listen to that much anymore.
Damn.
And Future, like even the new Future album, bro, like none of this is like, it's okay. None of it is like standout. That's why I say when you use the word standout, these are like average albums. This is something, if it come on, you might not turn it. You might not say this is weak, but this isn't like some of their best work. This isn't standout in their discography. So I'm not really looking for any artist in particular to drop a standout album. I'm just sitting back because when you have expectations like that, then you're more easily disappointed. I'm just kind of sitting back listening to these albums that drop, and none of them are really memorable to me. It's like they're just phoning it in. The rappers for the most part.
We talked about Big Sean's single Precision. You know what I'm saying? We kind of said the same thing. It's like, man, it sounds just like that J. Cole First Shooter, same cadence, same delivery. Is it the production? Because again, we see people pretty much going to the same 5 people. It's either the Marvel, Metro Boomin cats and all that, they go heavy in the paint with the 808s, or it's like the Alchemist, Hit Boys, Drumless, Nicholas
Yeah.
Cravens, and like I said, salute to Nicholas and all our people. But is it that nobody's going to the classic cats, you know what I'm saying? And not the boom bap per se, but just some of the dudes that, like, again, you talking about Pac, man, there's still producers that was working with Pac. And they got the ASR 10 ready with some beats. Why are they not reaching out to these cats, and why are they all going to the same people or getting the same style of beats, in your opinion? J Camp, top 5, Bebo P in the chat.
So you're asking me?
Yeah, you got started off, man.
I don't really think it's the production. I think the production's been fine. Even on the ScHoolboy Q album, there's like some beat switches which were really questionable to me. Like on Ohio. I don't think Ohio. I think the first part of that song was great. The more slow tempo beat. It kind of reminded me of Groove Line off of Oxymoron, I believe. But then it's just too many beat switches. But that aside, I think the production is fine.
Okay.
I think it's the rappers. I'm not hearing the bars like I normally hear the bars.
Damn.
Not a bar.
I'm not hearing the bars. I'm not hearing like proper songwriting, like even and within the album itself. Or maybe this is a production thing, the sequencing of the album and choosing which songs go where. Yeah. I'm not hearing like even albums that make sense anymore. And I said this like on my last, on my one of my recent videos. Like, am I getting aged out? Am I the weird one for expecting albums to make sense nowadays? Because maybe this is just an old critique that I'm carrying over from the 1900s. You know what I mean? Am I weird for expecting albums to have like themes or to make sense or to be cohesive? Maybe that's not what it is anymore. And I felt that way about the Kendrick album. It didn't feel like any type of theme. It didn't feel like any. It felt like just, again, a compilation album. And this is my favorite rapper, mind you. It felt like a compilation album. I feel like that way about Q. I feel that way about a lot of these albums. So I don't think it's the producers, or maybe that is a production note. Like, I don't know who's sequencing the album and who's choosing the direction. I think it's the rappers though.
Well, and it's the thing too. Well, hold up, J Camp.
Okay,
we said this to I think either you or Bebo P said this last episode. Where's the A&R? Was that you, J Camp, or was that Bebo P? That there's no A&Rs anymore. Is that the issue, J Camp?
That was J Camp. Yeah.
No, I think because I was going to say top 5 said a key word. He said sequencing. To me, it's not the production. It's a little bit on the MC too, but the MC has something to do with the sequencing, like how they putting the projects together, the flow. It don't make sense. And top 5 named a perfect example of the ScHoolboy Q album. Like some of the beat switches don't fit. Like that's where the A&R is missing, because the sequencing mattered for when albums like start to be in that classic category or memorable albums. Like we know exactly the playlist, how the track listing is going to go. It's a flow to it. Right now, these albums have no flow. It's like, I don't want to say lazy. That's a strong word. I just think there's not enough creativity in the studio with them. Not just the A&R, the producer. Like maybe there's too much guys just sending cats beats. Like they're not in the studio together to really make stuff mesh.
They're doing too much of that drop boxing and the beats and all that.
Exactly. So it's a lot of sequencing that's just off. Like there's no flow. So it don't vibe. If there's no flow, it don't vibe. Like you can't even really catch a vibe to these albums.
Yeah.
And that's the biggest problem.
Well, with everything that was just said, it makes me want to segue into the $64,000 question as far as modern day verses are concerned, or what's being hyped up today, and that's the Kendrick verse on that Future and Metro Boomin album. So with that said, is it safe to say that you feel the same way about Kendrick's verse on that track, top 5?
Well, hold up. Don't bust that nut yet. Hold up now. I got some footage.
No Diddy.
Hold up.
That's like the best Kendrick verse I done heard in years, man. Years. Take these off. That's like the best Kendrick verse I done heard in years. All the shit with Baby Keem and shit, it's trash. Facts. Most of it. I won't say all of it. But he sounded hungry there. It's not like he's trying to start some shit up. Okay. Maybe this is how Kendrick gets himself creative again. Like, I'm gonna go start some shit. Let's start some shit. Kendrick and Drake, they always like, I wouldn't say they always, but there's been tension since they had first came out. Fans wanted to see some action. We want to see some action. kind of weird to be doing this in year, what is this, 15, 16 for Kendrick? 15. Kendrick Lamar EP came out in 09, so this would be year 15. Kind of odd. I would think they're all friends at this point, and especially Kendrick and J. Cole, because they do have more than a couple songs together.
Hey, man. Again, like Bebo P said, is that the best bars right now for 2024? What's your thoughts, top 5?
Well, I thought it was, like I said in the video, I think it's one of Kendrick's best verses in years. But you gotta, like, what am I really saying there, though? Because I didn't like the Mr. Morale album, and the only album before that was like in goddamn 2017. So it just goes to what we're talking about now. Like, the bar is so low right now. Now, I don't think that was a bad Kendrick verse, but that's more in line with what he had been doing. That's not one of his best verses. That's not, but it's one of his best verses recently because he sound hungry. The Mr. Morale album, bro, I probably honestly listened to that album like twice. Once when I reacted, and then 2 when I edited the video. I have no reason to return to that album. And I think he had like a song from there on Madden that I heard a bunch of times, with an N95 or something, which was cool. But I think the Kendrick verse, good verse, right? But we have been so starved in hip hop of actual bars, and this is something I said on the same video that I talked about earlier. When I was talking about, am I weird for like expecting albums to have direction now? Is that like just a thing of a relic of the past? I also said, am I weird for expecting bars to like make sense and then to like have directions? Or is it just normal for every verse to be packed with non sequiturs? No bar follows the previous bar. Every bar is like a new thought. So this Kendrick verse wasn't that. It was a departure from that, which is good. It's a good verse, but I don't think it was a great diss. Like, these niggas are dissing each other. They're not even saying each other's name. It's not like, like if you read the comments on that reaction, some people in the comments are like, yo, this is a boring reaction. Like, you have no energy. Well, because the verse wasn't like that, bro. It was a cool verse, but it wasn't like he calling out names. This ain't Tupac hit him up. So that's how I feel about that.
Well, and that's the thing too, man. Like, I think we talked about this in the group chat. We talked about this a little bit on a little pre-show that we did earlier today. If you kind of grew up around like the Pac era, the Biggie era, like all those no Vaseline joints, you're like, this is a diss. This is baby. This is baby. Y'all getting hyped about this joint? There ain't no news going on. This must be a bad news cycle joint. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Man.
J. Ken, what was y'all, J. Ken BOP, what y'all think about the verse though, as far as the Kenny situation, but also do you agree with top 5, man, about mid-stepper?
Yeah, I mean, it was just a good verse. I mean, it was solid. You know, like I'm not hating on it, you know, but it's not fire and brimstone, which is what me and Bebo P was saying. Like, it's not the bars that's gonna cut somebody's knees off and you just watch them bleed. It's not the horror movie like R.J. Payne where you just gonna end somebody's career. Like, it's not those type of bars. It's really just, okay, I'm about to give you a love tap. I'm gonna pepper you up. It's just like 2 jabs at the end of the round. I mean, it's like it's them 2 jabs that connect, and then you go to your corner. That's basically what this is. My question though, for top 5 would be, do you think Drake is even going to respond to this, or is it just going to be more subliminal criminal, which he's been doing
Subliminal criminal?
the whole time? He just, everything is like, you got to go back 7 albums to hear one little bar that, oh, so that's what he meant by that when he was talking about futures. You cutting futures short.
Right. Yeah, I think Drake will respond, but I think it'll be because they've been responding to each other. Like, this isn't Kendrick like reaching out to attack. This is Kendrick responding to some shit, which was them responding to some shit. So I think they'll respond, but it's gonna be a subliminal. And to your point, this is a response to First Person Shooter, which I thought wasn't even that great of a song. Also, again, I listened to that song, I thought I was about to hear some John Blaze shit. It wasn't like that. Like, it's honestly one of Cole's weakest features, and I say that because Cole has had some really great features.
He's had some great features. Yeah, he has.
That First Person Shooter, it's not one of those. So I listened to that song, didn't like it, but I had to go back and like, there was a Kendrick diss on that record. Like, you really got to do like quantum physics to find the disses in this.
Like, you got to know his cousin. Yeah, what he was really saying was when he said chicken wings, that really meant Drake.
Right. Like,
and that's when we can go back to production. because that production is no different than what Big Sean just rapped on Precision. So
Right.
if you keep
Facts.
sliding on them same beats, your ears
same
aren't
delivery.
trained to hear the bars. You know what I'm saying? With that type of production, and that's why it sounds like I don't want to say mediocre. It just sounds okay.
Okay, yeah.
It just
Right.
sounds okay. You rapping, bro, but it's the same cadence homie just used on his joint.
But this is the thing though, J Camp though. But is this us growing up watching Bird and Magic with when MJ had the gold chain on, and now we watching Chris Middleton,
It's basically watching.
and we can't
Chris
respect
Middleton.
the jumper?
Yeah, it's 2024 Chris Middleton, not like 2021 Chris Middleton when he was out there, you know, busting.
Straight braille when he
cats'
bites
head.
something too, dog. When he bites something with the
Pause,
teeth,
no
dog.
Diddy.
You know,
Right.
And I wouldn't even say it for me. It's you know being able to watch. Okay, I watched Kobe. Now we watching Chris Middleton because these are the same guys I grew up watching. It's just like y'all just not rapping like that. Or these are the same
Yeah.
people. Like the people who was
Yeah.
fired when I was coming up. These are the same Drake, Kendrick. Like these are the same people.
Like-
All these other rappers that's dropping nowadays, but it's like for some reason they just Kendrick sounded hungry on this, but as of late, I just feel the hunger's missing.
Well,
There's
this is
not
the
that
thing. What about
MC that can
Leroy
push
Green right
anybody.
here, J Camp? Leroy Green's basically screaming in the chat. First of all, salute to our brother Leroy Green.
Salute to
You know what I'm
Leroy
saying?
Green.
Jay-Z
Salute.
fan in the
Leroy
house. You
Green.
know what I'm saying? Jay-Z little cousin.
Right.
He's saying Ransom one of the best, but nobody cares.
I got something for that.
also that,
Go ahead,
that's
go ahead,
that's more of a media machine like factor there though too,
All right.
because those type of guys would force these dudes we talking about to actually have to rap. Like if you put Ransom on a joint with them dudes, they wouldn't just be like, you can't just do that. You gonna have to rap, bro. Like you gonna have to cook on the mic.
Facts.
You know, so there's no MC to push none of these dudes in that type of mainstream environment. Nobody's being pushed. That's why everything just sounds like, well, I can just easily write this 16 in 5 minutes and get out the booth. You know what I'm saying? Like they're not being motivated to have to come like that because there's nobody pushing them. So when you got the dope underground cats who really are about that pen, they're not being like put in that same arena. Because if they were, they know there wouldn't be no more of what we're hearing right now. They would have to really get back to them bars. That's just my personal opinion.
Go in, top
People
five.
up here, top 5, would y'all about to go in?
Well, for top 5, based on to take that baton from J Camp and that the machine is not really pushing the artists that really should be out in the forefront, which has been going on forever and a day, as we know. So you factor that in, you factor what you said, top 5, which in so many words comes down to the fact that there's been, in your opinion, from what you said, no standout hip hop verses or songs or albums like that. More so albums, I think. So with those variables coming from Hip Hop 50, is hip hop, in your opinion, going down and fast, or do you feel otherwise?
Facts, Leroy.
Well, I'll say this. To Jay Kemp's point, I would say I don't think it's that there are not enough underground rappers doing their thing to get these mainstream guys going. I would say it's not enough new rappers. Like there's no new wave of
That
rap.
too.
Like the rappers who are the hottest right now were the rappers who were the hottest 15 years ago. Kendrick,
Yeah.
Cole, Wiz, Drake.
Right.
That's
So,
true.
I think
It is.
with new blood coming in and challenging the old guard, that would help motivate these guys. But there's none. The rappers who are most popular are still the most popular. Even when you look in female rap, which is one section of rap who has seen a large swath of new people come in, at the top it's still Nicki. Nicki is really the only one and Doja Cat are the only ones really actually moving numbers. Not trending on social media, doing shit with Vogue and having placements with fashion designers. I mean, selling records. It's Nicki
Right.
and it's Doja Cat. I would say Cardi B, but she ain't dropped since like 2017, 2018.
Man, how many
Right.
times have we
Music's
said it on this
dusty,
show,
too.
Iceberg?
Was it?
Cardi got to come outside and not just drop a single.
She got to spin the block, man, and not just
Right.
show that buzz. You know what I'm saying? She got to really get in the booth, and also to me, I think we got mad respect for, the Foxy Browns of the world, a few of those chicks and Lil Kim that kind of used to write some of their bars. Not maybe all the way, not all the way, but maybe they influenced a little bit of. Maybe they took the bars. I remember Pac said, "Hey man, I'm gonna write a verse for you, Hammer," because Hammer was trying to do all some crazy stuff, and he said, "Man, I'm gonna write a song for you," and he was like, "Man, just listen to it, and then you put your own swag onto it." At least some of the artists back then were putting some of their swag on it. You know what I'm saying? When you heard a Lil Kim record, you felt Lil Kim wrote it because. You know, she put her effort into it. I'm not saying they wrote everything. But the whole thing is you can tell this stuff is written by some saucy Santana cats, man. Hold up.
So much diddler swag.
So it's written by some of the saucy cats, and everything's really just manufactured Twitter posts. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, man. That who's that dude from your city, man? Jack Harlow, J Camp, your people.
Yeah.
You was in the club with him when it went off.
Your man.
Now
That's
you.
your man, KFC. That's your man. You know what I'm saying?
Now y'all really off in the. Yeah.
But the whole thing is, and again, like, if this is a situation, top 5 started off, but J Camp, Bebo P in the chat, and again, we not just bodying hip hop, man. We love hip hop. So the question is, man, it's almost like, hey, man, you love Wagyu A5 beef. You know what I'm saying?
I do actually. I love.
But now you basically getting hamburger helper. My nigga, I need salt. Need come through with the salt on the bull. But so the whole thing, man, is the quality is going down, man. You got no disrespect. You got immigrants over here getting the Tyson food contract now. You know what I'm saying? We ain't got no Americans do it. So the whole thing, man, is what's the trajectory going with hip hop now? Because again, we have a few white knights, man, out here going crazy. The 3 R's, man. You know, see Ransom, R.J. Payne,
Wrong.
and Rome. We got a couple little dudes out here really representing. But again, like Leroy saying, the masses don't care. So top 5 started off, man. Like, how do we kind of get? I mean, because again, we got dudes like you that basically like, hey, let me introduce something new to you. Let me review this thing. Let me introduce something that's not on this playlist. Because again, we grew up listening to the radio. The radio told us what was hot. The DJs told us what was hot. We don't have no K-Slays anymore, nothing like that.
Right.
That's gonna play an ether. You know what I'm saying? And get dissed by, you know, the masses because they rep with the other side. But top 5, J Kemp, BOP in the chat. How do we change it? Who is that dude is gonna bring this cavalry in, man?
Let me say this. I also don't think it's that the mainstream isn't allowing the guys who are the best to rise to the top. I don't think that's it either. And I'm gonna get at Ransom. If you like me in the chat, if you like me, you're about to hate me. If you like Ransom, what I'd say about Ransom. But I'm gonna say this because I've listened to Ransom. I've reviewed his music. But I'm gonna say this first. I don't think it's that the mainstream isn't allowing the right artists to rise to the top. Because look at what's happened the past 10 years. Who is at the top right now? The people who were the best in 2009, 2010, Kendrick, Drake. I never thought it was Drake, but he had great song. He's a great songwriter. I can't take that away from him. Cole, Big Sean. I know people make fun of Big Sean now, but Big Sean was a trendsetter. Like he stylized an entire flow that the entire industry used for like 2 years, 3 years after. All those guys rose to the top. Kendrick was never supposed to be one of the highest selling rappers. He never made music for like the mainstream audience like that. But those guys actually rose to the top, the guys who were the best. Now to Ransom, he's a good rapper, right? But I like great songwriters. Ransom puts bars together. I got Ransom reactions on my channel. And I get people always give me blowback when I say this about Ransom and when I say this about Planet Asia. Good rappers. But once I've heard one album, you don't need to hear every Ransom drop. You can listen to like one out of every 4 or 5 because it's the same style. It's like the same type shit going on. Now he's gonna have some new bars and setups and punchlines that make you go like, okay, yeah, I like how he did that he's never done before. But stylistically, I'm a songwriting guy. I like good songwriting. I like different flows. This is why when I say, and again, people gonna kill me in the chat. When I say I like Doja Cat, you listen to a Doja Cat song, it's like, sometimes it's like, you think it's like 2-3 different people on the song. It's one person. Ransom don't have that. So he's not gonna rise to the top like that, to the mainstream, because he doesn't write that way. Like he's a rapper, bars. And I also think he's not even the best underground rapper. He just is too samey for me. Drop the hate in the chat right now.
Nah, man.
BOP,
I
you
mean,
agreeing with
just giving
top
your
5?
opinion, bro.
J Camp, go in, man.
Nah, I was
Go
just
ahead,
saying he's
J-Camp.
giving his opinion. My only pushback to that is I don't really think Ransom to a man really cares about being in the quote unquote mainstream. I'm throwing air quotes mainstream. I think his mainstream is his mainstream. He has a large underground fan base, or I should say a fan base that wants to hear that type of music. I just feel like he makes music for people who want to hear that. Like my ears are personally trained for that. You know, like it's hard for me to listen to a full album of like a what's a little shorty's name that had a song with Busta. Coley Ray. Like I can't just listen
man,
to
BOP's
Like,
girlfriend.
my ears are not conditioned to that, but it is conditioned to a Ransom. And I get what you're saying about once you've heard like one album or once you heard 5 tracks, you feel like you don't need to really hear anything. That's a very good point. I don't disagree with that, but I personally want to hear that type of joint over because that is like music for my soul, for my hip hop soul. And everybody has a different hip hop soul, a different flavor. But it does not make what you said wrong though, because I can't really push back on that because yes, there's a bunch of artists that I personally like where you probably could hear like 10 songs of theirs and be like, oh well, I kind of don't have to hear another album because I know what this dude sounds like. But for me, that's what I need. That's what I asked for. I need that. So I feel like there is a lane for those guys. I just don't think they want to really be in the same lane as a Drake because then fans are going to be expecting Ransom to get on the track and start singing.
With a Mariah Carey on the hook.
Yeah, Mariah Carey. Like he's never going to do that. Like that takes him out of what he does best. And I think everybody has a blueprint. Like Drake is not going to go in that arena because that's not a place where he can play.
But this is the thing though, man. Back in the day, man, we had your Mike Geronimo's who would do that kind of stuff, the Ransom stuff. Yeah, we had we had those guys that we had those guys that would do that bull. You know what I'm saying? But the whole thing is, we had the Pacs, we had the superstars, you had the Shaquille O'Neals with the crazy personalities that would basically bring in the money, bring in the fans. BOP. Yep. Do you see anybody carrying that torch? Will we ever see another Jay-Z? Will we ever see another big personality in hip hop like a Busta Rhymes who will say, you know what, F it, I'm gonna just get the crazy camera on the video and Ben thugging, Jim thugging, and go in crazy and do some different things? Will we ever see that again after Hip Hop 50 for this next 50 years of hip hop? Or will hip hop even get to 50 years, man? Because again, we are seeing the end of the era with no Diddy, you know what I'm saying? The corporate version of hip hop, right?
Right.
So will we ever see just pure organic, poor righteous teachers, Cool G rappers?
That's hard to see happen at scale. It really is.
Great
you know,
point.
that first advanced form of hip hop's 50 years, that was just something special. I mean, everybody, you know, whether they were above ground, underground, or somewhere in the middle, most everybody had something unique to bring to the table while having that appeal in the golden era. Today, like Top 5 said, you know, the modern day best, you know, newer cats has been the same cats, you know, in no particular order. It's been Kendrick Lamar, J. Cole, and Drake in no particular order. And, you know, whoever else you might want to throw up there, but they came out, you know, several years ago. So all I'm seeing now, I think all we're all seeing now is like, you know, your you know, female artists of the Glorillaz and the Lottos and all that ilk now, or on the other side for males, you're seeing like a lot of drill cats. So, you know, no disrespect, but it's just, you know, you're not seeing a lot of cats come in that's really competitive and challenging folks to really help to carry this torch from the cats who did it in the 80s and 90s and did it very well. You're not seeing them carry that torch well.
But this thing, I think the artist that could have done it was, I just lost the train of thought. The guy that could have done it, man, was Pop Smoke. You know what I'm saying? In my opinion, man, he had the girls going crazy. He had the big records. He could do something with Travis looking crazy. I think Pop Smoke was one of those guys that can still do the. She like the way that she move. She like the way that she dance. She like the way she go. But then he can still like get respect from 50 Cent though. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And still make a like. Cause again, I see the dudes making a whole bunch of Rod Wave, dollar store fried chicken. Like I'm depressed and I'm mad. And you see the girls making the hip hop records. They can swag and talk about their sexuality. They can talk about what they do, they car they driving. We don't see the swag from the guys anymore. You know what I'm saying? Am I off a little bit? Top 5? What you thinking?
I think just a little bit, off a little bit, because there are
Go in.
I think just the main point is the lack of new rappers. I think that's it. And the reason I mentioned the Ransom thing was because yes, I agree with you, J. Kemp. Yeah, Ransom, he's not trying to rise to the mainstream. Yeah. I listen to artists like that. Currency, he's been making the same type of records for like 15, 20 years.
It sound good too. It sounded good too.
Pause.
Yeah, I know exactly what I'm gonna get from him. I know when he drop, I know it's not gonna be disappointing and it's not gonna be mind blowing.
It's gonna be
I know
solid.
I'm gonna enjoy it. I know exactly what I'm getting. It's like going to your favorite food spot. They make it the same way every time. That's what I like. So yeah, I understand that certain underground guys don't have the goal of rising to the top. Another one of my favorite underground guys, Mozzie from Sacramento, California.
Yeah.
You know what you're gonna get from him. You're gonna get bars, you're gonna get that pain, he's gonna talk a little shit, and he's gonna be out there in 40 minutes or less. So I think acutely the main issue is the lack of new rappers. And in terms of trajectory, I think clearly hip hop is losing its place in the charts, which I don't mind. I think that's a good thing because pretty soon it's not going to be profitable for labels to fund rappers. So they're going to go fund Afro beats. They're going to go fund Latin, what is the Latin reggaeton and all that. They're going to go fund that. They're going to go fund pop music. And then there's going to be less money for hip hop, which I think is good at this point in time, because the only people that are going to be left in hip hop are people who actually want to make hip hop music, not people who are just trying to come on and copycat and make the same type records. So I think that's the trajectory. I think we're going to see hip hop be less prominent in the charts. And I think that you're going to see less artists, new artists trying to jump in for pop's sake, and more artists making music, hip hop music, because they love it. I think that's where it's going.
Let me ask you this, top 5.
Go ahead, J.
Leroy Green made a really good point in the chat where he mentioned Europe is holding down hip hop.
Right.
Do you feel that the reason why some of these labels and some of these record companies can't really market well is because they've kind of like oversaturated the market? Like, because cats in Europe is still rocking out to Woo and all kinds of like legacy.
That's where most people gonna get their money from.
They still selling out like large arenas and like football stadiums. You know what I'm saying? So it seemed like it's still been growing in popularity in other countries. How do you even see that kind of like, turning back around, man, and coming back to the States to where we start embracing hip hop again?
Well, I think
it's almost like we spoiled almost. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was going to say. I think the Europe thing, I think that's more of I think it's their infatuation with our culture. When I mean our culture, Black American culture.
I got you.
Europe isn't really going up like that for all rap. It's legacy acts, which is great. Like the 90s rappers, they can go to Europe and get a bag. Like Mobb Deep, R.I.P. Prodigy, Q-Tip from Tribe. Like they can go, even Tony Ayo and 50 Cent. I mean, well, they still do numbers everywhere, but I mean, Tony Ayo will tour Europe by himself. He says this in his interview. Like Tony Ayo,
facts,
by himself. So I think that's more of that's a different thing. I think it's good that they appreciate our legacy acts. It sounds crazy. I'm calling some of these guys legacy acts, our older acts, but I think that's more of an infatuation with our culture type of thing. And we are here currently in our culture. So it doesn't exist that same way for us.
Follow up to that though. The reason why I even said that was because when you think about it, just like global population, the United States really is a small dot on the hemisphere. You know what I'm saying? In comparison, when you talk about Asia, like Asia loves hip hop. It's like 6 billion people around China jamming hip hop. 90s. So I feel like, to me though, the power of getting it into that many people's hands, that's like the pandemic, man. It's spreading over there. I mean, it still has a place. What I'm saying, like, real hip hop still has a place in this world. It may not be on U.S. soil, but it's somewhere, and it's a whole lot of damn people still listening to it. You know what I'm saying? When you really just do the math. Even when I seen like some clips of Kendrick's first show down in Mexico, that was wild, man. That scene was
crazy.
Yeah.
wild.
It was crazy. It was
Bananas, and they knew every single word of them songs.
They did.
Spots in the States don't be like that no more. They ain't jumping up and down, rapping every single bar for bar. They doing that overseas though. They doing
Unless
it.
you're from
and
the
they
essence
just
of the old
just
school.
sheer numbers, man, from the streams too. Like, I don't even think it gets reported over here because they don't want to embarrass these record labels. That stuff don't get reported.
Okay.
Hey man, this thing real quick, man. Antoine's going crazy with the money tonight. Salute.
Hey, salute Antoine, man.
Yeah, Antoine going
Absolutely,
crazy
that's
tonight,
the
man.
guy,
So
man.
he's saying, I think the internet created
Antoine.
too many small sectors of rap for us to even see superstars again. Cole, Kendrick, Drake were the last ones that blew up before the ones started to lose control. Top 5, what you think?
That's facts. I think Antoine is from my live chat. Hey, you never donate this much when I do my live. Still to Antoine though. I fuck with
Show
that. He's
top
one of
love,
my
Antoine, man.
biggest viewers. Yeah, I mean, this is true. The internet created too many smaller sectors of rap for us. I don't think that's true. I don't think we won't see a superstar again. I think all that has to happen for us to see a superstar is for someone to actually try something different that just happens to hit with wherever the American culture is at the time. So like when T-Pap by Kendrick dropped, that dropped like at a perfect time in culture because there was this new black consciousness movement happening right as the album dropped. And then you had songs like Black of the Berry, you had songs like All Right, everything just hit. And it was like this funk disco type production on the album, which is also comes from black consciousness. Like everything just hit. So I think we're going to see a superstar again. After every dip, it's like the stock market. When it goes all the way down, usually it goes back up, and then when it's at the very top, it falls back down. So I think I think hip hop was at the very top in 2018. We had so many great albums in 2018. Nipsey, Victory Lap.
Ooh,
That was when Kanye was doing the 7-song albums with Nas, which was kind of weak. The Nas, Daytona came from that. We had Mac Miller, Swimming. We had the Royce Book of Ryan album. We had Benny Tana Talk 3. Like we had so many great albums in 2018. And yeah, now that was the top. Now we're currently at the bottom, but I think it's going to come back up. We're going to see another hip hop superstar, but it's going to come from them doing something slightly different than what everyone else is doing, whether, like you said, with Busta Rhymes, with the videos or with the sound or just with the vocal inflections. And people are going to love it like they love Kendrick when he came out. He was different. J. Cole was a breath of fresh air when he first came out. People are going to latch on to it. That's how a superstar is created. But it has to intersect with culture at the time, at the same time. Otherwise, they're just a good musician.
Facts. Well, this thing too.
I agree with that, Top. It has to be organic.
Like right now, I'm playing like some Missy in the background, right? When the Missy dropped, it was crazy. Who's this fat girl in the trash bag? You know what I'm saying? It's going crazy. You know what I'm saying? With the finger waves, like your auntie that sells plates and the puss and boo. You know what I'm saying? Right. In cigarettes when she cooking. Like again, that sound was crazy. It changed the whole game up. But that was a Timbo and a writer with Missy. You know what I'm saying? Doing that stuff. Right. Again, we see the Metro, we see the Hit Boys, we see Young Berg. You know what I'm saying? Hit making now. Before we get you out of here, first of all, can you rock with us the whole time? Or you out? We got.
Yeah, I can hang out.
Okay. We gonna hang out.
And to your Missy point. To your Missy point, again, that was another culture thing. Like Missy didn't have the greatest bars. Like beep, who got the keys to the beat room? That's like 2 bars. She ain't say nothing. But it's other stuff aligned, and the culture it was ready for that, and it was ready to support that at the time. So we'll definitely see another superstar in hip hop. It's not going to be this year though.
So hold on. That was my prediction. That was my thing. What are you guys, real quick, before we go into some topics? We got 3 topics tonight. What is you guys' prediction for 2024? Will this be since 2023 was so high besides Busta Rhymes album, 2023 was so high will 2024 be a low point in hip hop? Because again, is it just whack people making whack music, or is it the heavy hitters are scared to drop? What's the prediction though? Real quick.
The heavy hitters is dropping though. The heavy hitters is dropping. Like Drake, Kendrick, Cole. Well, Cole ain't dropped since like 2020. The heavy hitters are dropping though. Like the shit's just not memorable. You know what I mean? I don't even think 2023 was a high point in hip hop. I think the high point was 2018, and I think the last really good year was probably like 2019 or 2020. I think last year was a low point. I think 2022 was like salvageable. I think this is the low point. I think this year and next year will probably be low points, and I think we'll see it. It'll get back to it. Like end of next year, 2026. I think that's when we'll probably start seeing new blood or seeing some type of new movement give new life to the genre. But this is a low point. So was last year, in my opinion.
So with that said, particularly with the question I'm about to ask, last year, 2023, you said it was a low point for hip hop. On a scale of 1 to 10, what is that low point for hip hop 50? Given you said it was so low, would you rank it at 3 out of 10, a 2 out of 10, a 4 out of 10? Where would you place that? Where would you place 2023's hip hop 50?
What do you mean, a hip hop 50 concert with Nas and Lauryn Hill?
Oh no, just all of 2023.
Just that year, okay.
Yeah. Just music as a whole. Yeah, yep.
I like a 3.
Okay.
And this year is like a 1 or 2.
Okay. Do you think this year has the potential to be higher than last year's 3 in your opinion?
Sure. I mean, I don't think it's going that way.
Okay.
But sure. I mean, if I were just to say no, I would just be pessimistic. Like, no matter what drops, he's not gonna like it. I think sure it could happen. Do I think it's gonna happen? Not exactly. No.
Mark DJ said he got his 7.8 out of 10 last year. But
what will stand out? Mark DJ, what really dropped last year? Stand out. Don't just name a good album. Don't just name okay albums or albums that was cool. What was really stand out? Like in 2018, Victory Lap, stand out. Daytona by Pusha T, stand out. Black Thought, Streams of Thought, stand out. Jericho Jackson by Elzai and Crisis, stand out. What was stand out like in 2023? Like that.
I think
Nas shit, Nas. Without saying Nas, don't say Nas though.
I mean, and again, when I say 2023 was amazing, half of it was just Nas doing his thing. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Not even just music. It was the museum. It was the concerts. It was the foundation. You know what I'm saying? All that stuff.
Tours by LL Cool J.
So a lot of times, if you a Nas fan, you're like, oh yeah, last year was great. Like we had him at Madison Square Garden. We had him dropping 2 albums. You know what I'm saying? Jay didn't drop none. So if you're a Nas fan, you love that. But to me, this is the thing. Again, real quick, J Kemp, BBOP, will this year be a shining moment, man? And like again, Top 5 said, I mean, of course you can be a pessimist, but do we see like I'm wishing over it. Do you see a Jay dropping something? You know what I'm saying? Because again, he dropped that D'Angelo poop music. You know what I'm saying? Do you see anything like on the horizon? Again, in 2023, you had Black Thought. I mean, you had people dropping stuff.
Black Thought,
Sky Zoo,
project.
RJ Payne
Larry
dropped
June
a few.
had the
June
good
dropped
one,
2. That was deep. That was, to me, I'm still banging them joints. Pause.
I'm still jamming the June too.
But again, you got Nas drop. Like we over here talk about Nas dropping a video from an album from last summer. That's the highlight.
Facts.
I mean, again, what do you guys think? Again, Deuce is saying Jay Skis, and salute to Jay Skis. We got a little interview with him. Salute. He dropped something dope. Salute to Drum Work.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That director 4. Could I see Soul Madigan here saying the director's cut 4?
Did.
Director's 4
what I mean?
last year.
Yeah. Do y'all agree, man? Idol Grace said Esco fans was eating last year. We was eating good, but I mean.
I
always say, man, you got to have 2 apex predators, man, to have a good thing going, man. Jay has to be where Nas is at, or Drake and Kendrick and Cole. You got to throw Big Sean in there every now and then, you know what I'm saying, with something crazy. Will we see that this year or not, man? Do you see J. Cole dropping something?
I see Cole dropping something this year. just to kind of go back on 2023 real quick. The way I kind of judge it is differently because I feel like we had a lot of good, worthy hip hop albums, maybe from folks that we would consider like non-mainstream. Like I thought it was a good year for the non-mainstream.
Yeah,
artists.
for those guys that shine, put out
Like
some physical
because
copies.
a lot of those
get their
guys
money up.
who's indie and they're able to they have creative control over their projects and they can put out 3, 4, 5 projects in a single year. That to me, like I feel like a lot of artists did have control over their artistry, and I felt like that is what has gotten better over the years. And to your point, top 5, starting with 2018, 2019, when you had like kind of Gibbs starting to rise a little bit, when he had the joint with Alchemist, he had the joints with Mad Lib, the Book of Ryan, like stuff started. To me, I felt like the hip hop was starting to elevate again. Cause I agree, 2018 was kind of like the peak, but I think like 2023 was the year of the underground to me, and I felt like Hip Hop 50 was represented well by the underground. I felt like the underground held up its bargain.
Well, and this is the thing though, J. Camp and Bebo P. Can you answer this, Bebo? I know I'm putting you on the spot, Bebo. Is this just us watching like the Tex triangle offense and like, oh yes, it's hot, but you know, like the new thing is the Splash Brothers and Bull. You know what I'm saying? Like they changed the game up. They getting up 6, 7 dudes. They basically going crazy with the threes. Now, if you watching the NCAA tournament, if you don't hit threes, you gone. I don't give a hell what you got.
They influenced the game absolutely.
Right. So that's the other thing is it? Are we just like, yeah, it was dope because we listen to stuff that we hearing from our ears, but as far as somebody who wants to push the envelope, what was 2023 like, or even going into 2024 right now, Bebo P? Are we just basically just seeing what we like to see? You know what I'm saying? And not evolving with the game.
I think that 2023 was the year largely of the indie artist.
Okay.
In addition to, of course, you know, the many moments that Nas epically provided us as hip hop's ambassador for not only Hip Hop 50 but hip hop in general. LL Cool J, you know, I give him his salute as well because he stepped away from the acting thing, or at least paused on that just so he could focus on giving gratitude for the culture. And you're the worst cat for that. But yeah, man. But other than that, I mean, it was mostly like for folks of that ilk, along with like your 38 Specials, your Nimlos, your Shea Noirs,
Nimlo, yeah,
you know, artists like of that ilk. And of course you had the other side of the game too, in which allegedly there was no #1 rap album on the charts until like late June with Lil Uzi Vert.
I think it was Doja Cat actually.
Oh, was it Doja?
Yeah,
Okay.
Doja Cat.
It was
Okay.
dope.
I mean,
because Uzi Vert, I don't think did Uzi Vert get #1?
allegedly he did with that
allegedly.
Pink album, with that Pink Flag
allegedly.
album or whatever. Yeah.
But then
allegedly.
Doja Cat had the first single though with the one joint, the Red Paint
Right.
Town Red Swag.
Facts.
I mean, even if it was Doja, still point being, that's the other side of the coin in that, you know, and I think it kind of ties into what we're all saying, even with what top 5 I mentioned, in that hip hop hasn't really, and it seems to be kind of de-escalating from that mainstream fray. So we'll just have to see how things transpire as the days, months, and years pass.
Well, and this is the thing, man. Let's move on to some topics real quick. We're going to hit some real quick. The Future and Metro Boomin album. I saw the review that Top 5 did. He looking sideways over there. We Don't Trust You. 17 joints.
You know, Metro won't trust you.
Won't trust you. You know what I'm saying? 17 joints, collaborative album. Was the hype just the Kenny bar, or was this actually a good album for you guys, man? In the chat, what do y'all think? Because again, we got mad respect for Metro Boomin. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, salute.
Mad respect. This is crazy though. I'm from the generation that Future's supposed to be bigger than Metro. Metro like the dude everybody talking about. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Or even talking about the Future bars. Is it more the Metro production? Because again, Metro killed that Spider-Man little soundtrack joint.
he
Killed
did.
it, and his album that he did last year too. That was a standout Grammy nod. You know what I mean? Should have kind of probably went over the mic with it. But what's you guys' thoughts, man? Starting off top 5, just real quick. What's your thoughts on this 17 track joint. Again, I ain't heard nobody talk about nothing else
Right.
but Kenny. We ain't even seen nothing. I seen the little cream pie, booty pie, whatever the heck the song was. They dropped another video, but again, ain't nobody talking about Future. What's
Yeah,
your
man.
top five?
I wouldn't have even listened to any of the album if Kendrick wasn't on it. It did numbers though. I think it went. Who reported that it did like 200,000 plus the first week?
Was it
Fact check me.
Spotify, Billboard, something like that?
Somebody fact check me, because if that's true, that's insane. Those are insane numbers for nowadays. So
In today's, yeah.
It's supposedly
today's-
it's supposedly got the most spins on Spotify in one day. You know what I mean?
well, we know why that was, because the Kendrick verse.
Yeah.
But me personally, I'm not really a Future fan like that. Shout out to Future. Future is Dungeon family, so he is technically hip hop royalty. He comes from that cloth. But and I do like some Future projects. I like the Dirty Sprite too. I like the Monster. I like
Monster is my joint.
the Beast Mode, the 56 Nights. But he has so many mixtapes, even Free Bricks with Gucci Mane. Like when I don't just trash these artists, I listen to them, then I trash them. But he's just not my even on Like That. The song Like That.
Then I kick him down.
I'm listening to the song Like That, and it's like I just can't listen to shit like that, man. Like a dude just like droning and mumbling and then just saying anything over a beat. Recreationally, I don't listen to stuff like that. Metro Boomin is cool, but he's not like my favorite producer or anything. My favorite producer of all time is Ski Beats. He did the Camp Blow Uptown Saturday Night.
Yeah.
He did the Reasonable Doubt. He did the Currency Pilot Talk One.
Yeah.
So,
Oh yeah.
Dope,
Salute
boy.
to Ski Beats.
Metro to me, I mean, he got some beats that bang in the whip, but that's not how I listen to music, to bang in the whip. So Future and Metro combined, I would have never listened to this. I know these are heavy hitters, but I would have never listened to this album if Kendrick wasn't on it. So
Yeah, this is the thing, man. Like I consider that music Mopar music. You know, this is for the dudes that got SRTs, track hawks, and they going into the intersection where I can't go through, and they doing donuts and they hit somebody. You know what I'm saying?
right.
J Camp, man, are you rocking the Future Metro Boomin? We Don't Trust You? Is there any standouts? Because again, I think that key word the top 5 has been saying tonight is standout records. You know what I'm saying? Even the single game, you know what I'm saying? Is there any standout records J Camp on his Metro Boomin Future We Don't Trust You with the Tiger Tail dreads and boo?
I mean, we just talked about like stuff consistently sounding the same. So it's hard to say that there's even a standout when everything sounds the exact same. Like it's just okay, you know. I mean, I agree with top 5. I mean, like there's only so much Future that I can take, and I'm not saying that I dislike Future, that I'm not like a fan of some of his work. You know, like top 5 said, there's definitely some mixtapes of his that I rock with.
Double Barrel said you going to the gym with it.
No, like exactly, like you go to the gym with it, but
Right.
my thing with Metro though, I feel like Metro has gotten lazy at times with the sampling of like the old like Juicy J and DJ Paul.
How much can you,
know what I'm
sample
saying?
from 3-6?
That's like legacy, like South. Like you can't. I don't like when cats like Metro or Zay start sampling like legacy South. Like when we talking about like the old like 3-6.
It's a cheat code.
Classics. It's a cheat code. Like you know, like that's to me that's off limits. Like as a Southern guy and somebody who like loves Southern music, that's a cheat code. It's like you're not just gonna be sampling a whole bunch of Manny Fresh, even though they've done that before. Like when like Cash Money had that whole wave. When Beats by the Pound with No Limit had that whole wave. Like you leave that alone. Leave that alone, because that's legacy in the South. Because that still jams in the club today. Like that shit still hit. From Alabama to Georgia to Florida to South Carolina, North Carolina, Tennessee. It all rides the same anywhere you go. And that's my problem with Metro. But just on the album, nothing really stands out to me outside of the Kendrick joint. And that's because Kendrick was on it. You know, it was more so the buzz of wanting to hear like Kendrick actually rap
Go hard
again.
on the paint on Drizzy
know,
on
just actually
Wheelchair
just-
Jimmy, dog. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, just actually rap again. But I mean, salute to Metro and Future, man, for you know people talking about it. And he did the right thing. That what's the other joint where somebody else got when Future was actually talking about Drake on one of them. So it did its due justice as far as like getting the buzz. So they did their job there. So salute to Metro and Future, because I mean everybody's buzzing about it, not for the album itself, but for the things that was in. It's almost like going to the circus. This is
Controversy.
It's confessions on steroids. Bebo P, I know your baby mama look like Sexy Red. SRT DVD. I know this is your swag, man. What was your thoughts on the Metro? Because again, is there any Glow? I know you like Glow. You know your baby mama like Glow. Glorilla. Is there any shiny moments in this record at all? Because and like I said, we mess with. I'm trying to be nice. I'm trying to
pause. No Diddy.
No Diddy. We fucks with Future, man. Like ATL stand up. You know what I'm saying? Metro Boom. It's no. First of all, let's be clear before somebody clip this. We're not dissing Metro or Future. Let's be clear.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like we just giving a critique. Like Top 5 said, we listen to it and we critique it.
Yeah,
What's your critique on this? And is there any shiny moments? Because again, we know how the labels do. If this does numbers, they're going to copy this. They're going to do this again.
Mm-hmm. Right.
What's your thoughts, man? And again, because this is easy. Right. It's hard to find a Nas. Nas is a generational talent. We can find Harold Miners. You know what I'm saying? We can find an OJ Mayo. What's your thoughts, though, Bebo P?
Yeah, the most standout joint was the Kendrick moment on here, and Kendrick himself. Everything else, it didn't really stand out, just audio-wise or musically, in my personal opinion. That's not to say that there weren't any, okay moments here or there, but, just on an overall basis, I mean, nothing really stood out at all outside of, that feature of Kendrick Lamar and, of course, Rick Ross would stand out, with him being online or featured with them. But, yes, and I get the fact that, there were some mini skits from movie scenes and audio of like Prodigy from Mobb Deep sparingly, throughout the album, speaking his mind about generally calling out all the fake behaviors that was going on, when he was alive, of course. And yeah, Future even gave Metro Boomin his flowers all throughout the album, from recognizing Metro as a millionaire on
the beats was free. Of course you're going to say what's up. Give me them free beats.
Yeah. There was even a song called Young Metro. And Metro had some beat switches on a few tracks and whatnot. But overall, it probably works for that modern day trap audience and area. Or era, whatever, you know what I'm saying? The 21 Savages and all them, you know what I'm saying? It might work for them, but I don't see it having
a little bit
a grandiose sticking power, in my personal opinion. What say you, Iceberg?
I don't think it does either. I think, again, man, this is there's rap, there's hip hop, there's rap, and then I don't know what some of this other stuff is. You know what I'm saying? It's fusion. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think you was talking about like Spanish music, but then it's like reggaeton. And then there's like this new reggaeton that sounds like a fusion of Miami trap. You know what I'm saying? So again, this is going down to like your cousin that is in from Alabama, but they got a baby with your other cousin. So this is like some other fusion stuff going on. And we're not hating, get your money. But again, we know how the labels are driven. And we'll talk about this later on with Sus Diddy. We don't have the other cultures running hip hop per se when we're talking about the guys the Ransoms and all that. That's why they're dropping what they're dropping. But we still have these big labels like Atlantic that are still signing your Pooh Shiesties and all these other cats that are basically making this music that right now, in my opinion, is diarrhea rap. You know what I'm saying? It only lasts about a week. And it's gone again. You know what I'm saying? The Glow joint was actually kind of hot because they was mixing it with like 50 Cent. They was mixing it with other stuff, and people were like, oh, okay, it's kind of cool. It's almost like the Coley Ray joint. The Coley Ray stuck because you mixed it with the Busta Rhymes record. You know what I'm saying? Right. So
Metro kind of did that here a little bit too.
Facts.
Yeah. So, he did that with Prodigy, Quiet Storm. On that scene at all. It just wasn't there. So yeah.
Real quick, man. Salute to Miss LB. I didn't forget it. That's my fault, Miss LB. I didn't forget about your super chat, man. Salute to our family. Miss LB representing all day
Miss LB
long.
did.
Come on, let's be clear, man. With
Cleveland
the $10
is the
holler.
city.
She's saying no disrespect. The top 5 with the stock market reference was cool, but who is lined up that will be
You gotta read
that
that
will
in Miss
carry
LB
I gotta read
voice,
like her.
though.
That will carry the true essence of hip hop after Cole, K. Dot, and Drizzy, Wheelchair Jimmy.
I mean, that's my
Who
point.
y'all
That's
being
what I'm
pushed
saying.
after these guys?
Exactly.
That's what I'm saying. That's my whole point. Like we ain't got enough new blood. You know what I mean? But I will say with this Future album, yeah, I really don't talk sales, but a big reason why it's sold so much is because a lot of this is based again. I don't do this whole digging into subliminals when rappers are beefing with each other, but DJ Academics
J.R.
did it
Ryder.
for me. So
Right.
DJ, yeah, J.R. Ryder, right? Harold Baby Jordan Minor.
Yeah.
But DJ Academics did it for me. Basically, this Future album is like a diss towards Drake. It's like a huge subliminal towards Drake. That's why the features on the album is a bunch of people who have issues with Drake,
Drake.
or are said to have issues. The Weeknd, Rick Ross, Kendrick, and then they're going to drop a part 2. The album is called We Don't
Yeah.
Trust You. It's called We Don't
Part
Trust
2.
You.
Yeah.
So I mean that's
This
another
year,
reason
too.
why it's doing so well. Yeah, part 2 this year.
Yep.
Hey man, salute to DJ Scanless in the building. Salute, man. On
DJ
the road to
Scando.
$1 million. You know what I'm saying?
What's
Another
good,
Tupac
man?
super fan. Salute, man.
Already.
Scanless with the fresh fade, man. We see you in
Right,
the
the
picture.
crispy
cuz.
hairline.
You know what I'm saying? Hey, make sure y'all follow DJ
Already.
Scanless, man. One love. What was
All day.
Scanless saying real quick? He's saying all the tracks named are at Flipper Drake's For All My Dogs track name. Cinderella, The Shoe Fits, We Don't Trust You, Trust Issues. Running out of time.
good
Don't be
point.
late.
Yeah, I didn't catch that.
I didn't catch the name of the.
Goofy,
Okay,
dog.
DJ Scando. That might have to go up a little bit in my rating.
Yeah. I mean,
Just 'cause
this
the
DJ
Great
these are
catch,
shots, bro.
DJ Scanless. Great
Right.
catch.
Great catch.
And they had a little puss in there too.
You can tell DJ Scando ain't got no 9 to 5. He was able
Yeah,
to
man, he going
put
hard.
that puzzle together.
He ain't got no 9 to 5. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
He did one.
Let me see what I can do with this.
Right. That's exactly what he did.
Got him.
He going hard.
Shut up.
Hey man,
Let me
this
see
the
what I
thing,
can do with
Yeah.
This is the thing though.
The Dr. Robotnik song.
Again, I think top 5 said this too. Like when people big up an album, we put on high expectations, like almost like the Benny the Butcher joint. You know what I'm saying? He said it's gonna be better than Def Jam's or DMX's debut.
Oh gosh.
And I don't think some of it was his fault. I think he couldn't get some of the vocals cleared and all that stuff. It was some of it was Def Jam, but some of it was the beat picking and all that. Boo. I see top 5 like, oh my god. Is this one of those records though? Is this one of these records that was hyped up? You listen to it and it's Mopar music.
I don't think so.
Okay.
You talking about the Future joint?
Yeah. Is it on the level of a Beanie the Butcher we've been waiting for a minute, or this is just more like a mixtape they playing around just to troll?
I think it did what they wanted it to do. I think Drake is feeling a certain type of way, especially when he looks at the features, especially when he listens to like the lead song, which is Kendrick like taking subliminal shots at him. I think it did what it was supposed to do, which was irk Drake.
Wow.
I think you bring up a good point there, top 5, because what also happened allegedly was like all of those cats who,
Allegedly.
all of those cats who featured on this album or was affiliated with these cats unfollowed Drake on social media allegedly. So, yeah, I think that ties great into or along with what you said about like this album doing what it needed to do. Maybe
Controversy.
apart from the controversy factor.
Leroy
yeah.
Green coming with the $5 holla, man. Salute.
That's a good bar right there too, Leroy. by the
Yeah,
way.
he's saying
Salute
one thing
Leroy.
about Jay is even on the Annie musical, he knew he could still remain himself. The R's of the world need to go into the future world and cook.
So he's saying they need to push their pen into the future world. They need to get with Metro, get with those Zaytoven. Mike Will made it.
Yeah, man. But
Drummer
again, like I
boy.
said, man, if you haven't checked it out, just check it out, man. Again, we still want to get black people paid. You know what I mean? Go check out the joint. Do a top 5. Listen to it, then hate. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
Speaking of hate, man, a lot of people hated on this Nas Magic 3 when it first came out. They said it was hot dog water. Then they kind of spun the block a little bit. So hold up. Blue Bentley? Japanese soul bar?
Right.
I love this feeling.
Right.
Niggy 10 just dropped a
A trick or in love with your own distractions, they come.
First of all, if you just ate some food
Fair
or some
use.
Taco Bell, just don't look real quick.
on.
From a record from last summer.
Right. It's dope. It lets you know that, yo, if the music is good, or even if it's not good, like you don't have to abandon the album like a week after it comes out.
Facts.
I like this video though, and this was one of my favorite songs. I did a full reaction, full review to this album. It's on my channel. You can go check it out after this, of course. But I like the video. It looks like they're in LA or maybe in the Inland Empire here in Southern California. That's where it looks like they're at, just based on the setting. But yeah, this is one of my favorite songs on this album right here. I love this, and Japanese Soul Bar.
Man,
Come on, man.
cigars. And
J Camp,
Japanese
Bebo P in the
soul
chat.
bar.
What was your thoughts on the visuals? Again, Nas saying, "Hey man, I'm gonna just drop a video, man." You know what I'm saying? As I'm announcing the chess situation, the documentary, and all that. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
Kind of. It almost helped Diddy get out a little bit. You know, almost helped Diddy to escape just a little bit. You know what I'm saying? It just happened a week before. What was your thoughts though?
It just goes to Nas's genius, man. He knows how to market himself, and he knows how to play his cards. You know what I'm saying? So the visuals were dope. And to Top 5's point, like, if the music is dope, you don't just have to throw it in the trash. You know what I mean? You can still do videos. You can still have visuals. You can still pump that old music. Like, we seen Juvenile just do something recently with 400 Degrees.
I mean, we just said Juve just dropped the same thing on the song. 26 years
And you
old.
should, like, they're
Salute
400
myself.
degrees from the rooter to the tutor today.
Yeah, facts.
Still is a classic. Like, there's
Feeling
still
good,
no
too.
skips. There's still no skips on that joint. So,
Yeah.
to me, a lot of artists should do that. I would love to see Wu go back to the 36 chambers.
Drop some stuff
And
from
re-
and then
and
plus,
redo
most of the
some of
people
them
own their
joints.
catalog too. So you're actually
Yeah,
promoting
man.
something you actually own.
Go back and do that, man. To me, it's a genius move. Currency been doing that his whole career.
Facts.
Currency would drop a
Facts.
visual
Facts.
from a mixtape that dropped 5 years ago.
Facts, yeah.
And still
Oh yeah, y'all
sound
forgot
like
about that
it
one I
came
dropped.
out
Yeah, I'm gonna
today.
drop a video for it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right, man. But salute to Nas, man, for doing that, man. That's a flex, though.
Yeah, it is a
That's
flex.
a huge flex.
Bebo P, what you thinking, man? I know this is your flavor. I know you bang this before you go to the Jamaican spot, man, and get that jerk pasta. You know what I'm saying? I know you riding this in the whip.
Yeah,
What's
the
your thoughts,
oxtail.
man? Yeah, the oxtail. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean,
And tip the waitress extra. You know what I mean? What your number is?
nah.
Looking like he better rob the place, too.
Yeah.
Stop. I think what I can appreciate about Nas and Hit Boys, I love this feeling video, is the fact that Nas is back schooling the youth as he once did on the Godsons. I know I can't be what I want to be.
Yeah.
Yeah. And at the same time, one aspect of the video that stood out to me was when Nas spits the bars, who really messing with that damn man's girl? That says everything about that man's world. The editor of the video switches the visuals to an upside down look of the city, which to me symbolizes how upside down of an unscrupulous action that is to engage in. The other part that stood out to me without a team under the leadership that's disciplined like a militant soldier is what I'm really trying to say on that. But yeah, from Nas teaching black kids about how to effectively, just maneuver and skate in this thing called life the right way. Iceberg, you mentioned the chess, pieces and the boards,
Let the
in
pawns go
relation to
first.
that. Yeah, and really just, Nas just riding passenger with the fly shades on in the Mercedes. And the other scenes, I think, L-E-double-F, Left, if I'm pronouncing that right, I think he did his thing in directing this video for Nas. And, I think this was a nice selection to serve as a single from Magic 3. So salute to Nas and Hit Boy, and salute to Left. But Iceberg, your thoughts?
Nas is playing 3D chess, man. You know what I'm saying? He's
Come
playing
on,
3D
man.
Chess.
Come on.
Everybody else is over here playing checkers and bull, and losing.
He's just having fun with it.
And again, it's almost like when you see Floyd Mayweather like just freestyle boxing and playing around in the ring when he just sparring, it seems effortless. it's like, oh, that dude ain't doing nothing, and then you see dude on the ground hurt. You know what I'm saying? Cause he hit him all.
You see him with the
this
knot
you watching a master
on the side of the dome.
Yeah, I was just saying. Yeah, that Mark when he came through with the big head and boo. It's one of those things, man. It's beautiful. It's almost like watching back in the day, watching Kobe, man. Just that fourth quarter ISO play, get out the way, win the game. It's a wrap. It's watching Tiger Woods hit that last putt, man, to seal a victory, man, at the Masters. You watching a dude just effortlessly do what he was born to do and put on this earth. That was
pre-phone Tiger though. When he was
yeah. Hi, hey, don't call Melissa. Don't call the phone. You just should have just changed your phone number. But again, you know what I'm saying? It's a master class. Let's be clear. Again, Nas is just, and it's not fair to all your legacy artists as far as like top 5 was saying, because it's like, okay, if Nas is doing this easily, why can't others do it? You know what I'm saying? So again, it's not fair because Nas is just on. Because again, the other thing with Nas is we thought after Khalees left his ass, he was done. He had $40,000 on his head a month for child support. He was done. They left him for dead. This nigga came back and just murdered the game, and he made his money not off of rap. Let's be clear. Right. So a lot of cats don't respect. That's why him and Hit Boy, I think, really had a grudge, because a lot of producers don't respect Hit Boy. They're like, oh, you just making stuff that we made, and you just making it sound like Pete Rock. You making it sound like DJ Premier, but that's not you though. You making up stuff. Y'all just making what did Jay say? You making tunes. You know what I'm saying? So again, like I said, it's just a testament to Nas. I'm not a Nas fanboy. It's just seeing a master at work. Right. It's Quincy Jones when he's in front of an orchestra. You know what I mean? So again, man, salute to Nas, man. Salute to everybody at Mass Appeal. You can give us a check. You know what I'm saying? We got the Cash App, top 5 Cash App up in there too. And like I said, hey man, if you are just tuning in or you've been tuning in, we got a top 5 rap website on the platform. Let's be clear. LA, West Coast, New York, Miami.
Salute to you, brother.
Atlanta, Houston, man. Stand Up Chicago, man. If you're not following him, man, you have to question yourself as a hip hop fan. You know, let's be clear.
ASAP.
You really do.
Yeah, YouTube.com/top 5 rap website. And while we on the Nas topic, before we move on, like these Nas and hip hop projects, it helps me remember, like, yo, okay, I'm not just hating on everything and being a sourpuss, like, because I listen to these Nas projects and I like them. Other stuff I listen to, I'm like, it's mid. So it helps remind myself, like, okay, it's not just me hating on everything. There were there was one Nas project that he did with Hit Boy that I liked less than the others. I wouldn't say I didn't like it, but I think it was King's Disease 2, which was whichever one had the red album cover. It wasn't with Death Row East. That was part 2, Death Row East.
Yeah.
That was good, but I liked it less. Magic was my favorite. And yeah, that Magic is like my favorite moment in hip hop since like 2018. That was a great. That's the best Nas Hit Boy joint. Magic one.
And it came out right on Christmas too.
Out of nowhere too.
Well, and that's the thing too, man. That Nas and Hit Boy whole trilogy just to me level set my expectations. You know what I'm saying, a little bit. Like, hey man, like you said, I'm not going crazy. People can still make classic joints after 50 or after 49. Again, man, which rapper are you saying, man? I can't wait to hear his bars after 49.
Andre 3000 acts like you can't rap. I got some smoke for Andre 3000 too. He be acting like he too old to rap and this and that. Like, come on, man. Like, stop it.
Right.
Stop it.
Hey, man, I like Andre. You can hit them sound effects, cuz. Go ahead, hit them sound effects, cuz.
Indeed.
Go ahead, hit it, man. So, I'm talking about you, top 5. You can hit the soundboard on there one time.
I can hit my academic. You know what I mean? But yeah. Andre 3000, if you're watching, I don't know, he's probably in New York somewhere with a stick, like Kendrick said. It's not Andre 3K with a stick, whatever he said. But he be acting like he can't rap sometimes. Like he's too old. Like I don't know what to rap about. But Nas, okay, yeah, everybody not Nas. I feel you.
Well, Miss LB's asking how old you are.
How old am I? Guess. Yeah. I'm gonna let you know. Just guess. Let me know how young I look.
Miss LB, we'll see what's going on. But like I said, man, salute to Nas. This video was dope. Don't be eating and watch it because you're gonna get sick. Yeah, man, hit the soundboard, cuz we gonna have a dueling soundboard.
Dueling soundboard.
dual-
Stop it,
yeah.
mama. Never them dueling pianos and dueling soundboards.
She said 27.
31. I'm 31.
Okay, he's
92.
Okay. Miss LB showing some
Miss
love.
LB on it. Man, also something mad in the building. I got Wagwan,
Right,
you know what I'm saying?
Madden.
Salute.
Wagwan.
Madden never
People, man,
throw
you know
their
what I'm
range in there though. 25 to 30, like it's an
Right.
application.
He said you look about
you-
30.
like it's a
The
survey.
women want to know, are you single?
I'm not single.
Okay, there you go. Hey, man.
Okay.
Yeah, Bebo P's the only single one up here. So ladies, DM him.
You can subscribe to my
Yeah,
YouTube.
definitely
I
subscribe
flirt
to
back.
channel.
I'm not single, but I flirt back.
There you go. Hey, this is the thing, man. Speaking
Man
of
from-
front back. Hold on, turn me.
I thought you were gonna have that dead looking version. The box version of Sus.
Oh yeah, I got a new one. You made fun of my last graphic. Hey man, we gonna get top 5 in trouble tonight.
Let's do it.
Hold on. Let me play this video real quick, man. Hold up, so y'all know what's going down. Hold on.
Fair use.
Fair use, my G.
Home has been trashed during the military level. Hey, what's up? I'm A-Dub, and you gotta check this out. So leaked footage obtained by TMZ shows that federal
Nigga, them teddy bears on the bed. Did he get molested too? Damn. The teddy bear's like, nigga, what happened, bro? And they got another teddy bear. This is weird.
agents did
What's it, an
not leave
ice
the
cream
house
cone on
Friday.
the floor? What is it?
Nigga may have a chocolate tip on the joint.
Items and belongings strewn everywhere. It is not known where the footage originates from, but drawers can be seen pulled open, documents lying everywhere, safes broken into, and computers torn apart. A close-up of a computer shows that the
Nigga got them
That's
open.
more-
You know this Diddy's room because he got them little runners in there. You know what I mean?
hard drives have been
Right. The
removed.
That's
more
The
that was
director,
open and
who was a
broken
neighbor
into
of
in the
Diddy's,
house.
was
Ooh.
pictured observing the situation from the sidewalk. Diddy has since
Very
broken his
good,
silence
by the
about the raids, describing them as a witch hunt based on meritless accusations. In a statement to Hip Hop DX, his attorney Aaron Dyer said, "Yesterday, there was a gross overuse of military-level force as search warrants were executed at Mr. Combs' residences. There is no excuse for the excessive show of force and hostility exhibited by authorities or the way his children and employees were treated. Mr. Combs." So leaked footage obtained by TMZ
Top 5. That's some young girl. I'm talking about Diddy. That's the sound effect.
Dang.
Allegedly, this is all alleged, by the way. This is for educational purposes only. Top 5. We grew up on them.
We did. Yeah.
We grew up on them. You know what I mean?
Huge pause.
Pause. No Diddy. You know what I'm saying?
No Diddy.
And this thing, it's no disrespect to Diddy. We just covering topics from hip hop. This is a hip hop like legend when it comes to crafting hip hop from the 90s, right? So again, we got to talk about him. This is like if something happened to, somebody from the Ghetto Boys or something like that. Well, maybe kind of. But the question is it a rap for Diddy? Like, is there any way he can wiggle out? And also, being a Pac fan, is this some karma? Because again, a lot of this stuff didn't start until Keefe D got caught. And basically was over here capping, talking about the $1 million that went to Zip. You know what I'm saying? So is this basically just trumped up charge on a black man? Or is this some other stuff, man, that is just in the works? Again, the raid happened on the anniversary of the Biggie record. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
What's your thoughts, man?
I don't think it's karma for Tupac. Tupac's own murder was karma for what he did, and I love Tupac. But Tupac's like he jumped the crib that night in Vegas and got killed. Like it was a known crib. He was a known killer. Like you was in some gang business that you had no business being in, hanging with a bunch of bloods, and you decided to go jump this guy and he killed you. So that's his own thing. I don't think.
Hold on. Let me hold up with you real quick.
Mhm.
So remember, Puff put a hit on. He said, I want a death row chain. So bring me back one. Because the only people who have them are people that are close to him.
Okay.
The Lane Cat had one and they took his chain in the mall, right?
Yeah, you
And
talking about
so-
Vegas? Yeah.
Right. So allegedly, because of what Keefe D said, that Puff wanted a chain, somebody got their chain took. Lane told Pac about his chain getting took, and it was a dude in Vegas. So isn't that kind of like a puzzle piece a little bit?
I guess you could look at it that way, but I think Pac would have lived a little bit longer if he would have just stayed out of the gang business. Even if the people he was with, the Bloods he was with, wanted to do something, he could have let them do it. He probably would have still lived. But I mean, it's a pretty in LA, in California, everyone kind of knew already what happened to him. Right, we've known this for years. But then Vlad kind of connected the dots with the specifics. But everyone pretty much knew who did it and when it happened at the time. Right. But with the Diddy thing, I don't think it's trumped up charges on a black man. Diddy, man, I have a lot of thoughts on this. Diddy is I don't think it's trumped up charges on a black man. I think, and I also say this, careful of how crazy you talk about, and not just y'all, anybody, people in the chat about this situation, because your favorite might be next. 50 Cent say, if you've been following 50 Cent, he's saying Jay-Z might be, Jay-Z's my favorite rapper. He's saying Jay-Z, like a lot of these people who are in this mainstream like tier, I don't think you get there without doing some spooky kind of stuff. And Diddy is obviously in that tier. He's got private jets. He's got a huge house. I think they all got a little something that may or may not come out. And also Gene Deal, if you've been following Gene Deal and Reggie White, they've been saying this stuff. I'll say, let's get our no Diddy jokes off now, because Reggie White, he knew Diddy. He's saying Diddy the type of guy who will off himself. Being put in a situation, he said recently, Diddy's the type of guy in this situation, he will off concern.
Yeah, Reggie first Bond first, salute.
Right, so no Diddy, I mean, it's trending, it's got momentum, I like it, but let's get all the no Diddy jokes off now before it becomes non-politically correct. Fact. That's all I'll say.
No, top 5's 100 on this joint. Right. J Kent, Bebo P in the chat. What do you think? And again, this is why we kind of started off by saying, hey man, again, is it just, them pushing black? Because again, I ain't never heard nobody on his level having military dudes coming to the house, bi-coastal homes being raided. And again, we understand the game. We understand what Diddy been doing. You know what I'm saying, let's be clear. But well,
on the military thing, not to cut you off, on the military thing, that's par for course, especially like, so for instance, DJ Academics, he got his crib raided over a search warrant. But because the feds already know Academics owns a bunch of guns, so they're not going to come into your house, and I'm sure Diddy does, and people who live there does as well. So they're not just going to come into the feds aren't going to come into your house with nothing when they know you have guns or you could have guns. They're going to come prepared, like, for anything. And yeah, they raided both of his houses while he was on the jet. Like, the feds don't, it's like, they're like, almost like, sorry to the religious people, it's like Jesus. When they come, they already know everything about you. They know everything you've done. So like, he's pretty much toast. It just depends on how well his lawyers do or how much he pays into the system. However that works for him to get maybe some type of plea. But the feds not going to come unless they already know they've got all their ducks in a row. And they raided both of his houses as his jet was in the air. Like, bro, they are very organized about this, and they're not just going to come and spend all this money. All those people you saw there, all the vehicles, cost money. So they're not going to spend all that money if they're not 100% sure. Like, they've already ran the case in their head. They already have all their evidence. To even get a search warrant requires so much to get a search warrant. And they had search warrant on 2 or 3 houses?
Yep, New York, Miami, and the LA situation. You know what I mean?
So come on, man. Like there's a lot of innocent black people who get done wrong. Diddy is not one of them. Facts.
Okay, keep the soundboard going. Antoine 1486 is saying that salute with the $2 hot. He going crazy in the paint, man. You know what I'm saying? We might, you know what I'm saying? He going hard in the paint, man. He's saying the fans known about Diddy for years. Why now though? J Camp, can you kind of answer that as you kind of, swagging a little bit? You know what I mean?
We've always seen the feds go in on people when they're vulnerable. You know what I'm saying? When there's a crack, when there's a crack in the armor, so to speak. Yeah. And he's already got boatloads of suits sitting out there. You know what I'm saying? I mean, there's court cases on his head, multiple. So it only takes somebody from the federal government just gets antsy, want to make a name for themselves too, get interested in it. But I mean, human trafficking though is like it's a completely different type of crime though. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, man.
I mean, this is. They may not have found anything yesterday or whenever the raid took place, but we know they have something though. Like again, I think Deuce made it said it or somebody else. Like when they own that ass, like they have something. I mean, same thing with Young Thug
again.
They were following that for a minute. You know what I mean? So
Right.
they got something. And now they got all these witnesses they about to interview. It's about to be a done deal because they're gonna tell them where all the bones are buried. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
All the skeletons, where they hidden.
All the
at.
pig
It's just
feet.
a matter of time. It's just a matter of time. The first kick into the door was just like kind of like that was the shot to the ribs. It was the kidney shot. This next
Kick in
one,
the
though,
door, waving the 4-4 on the anniversary of that song.
Man,
they kick in the
come
door.
on now.
They kick in the door, man. The next one might be that dome shot. Fall.
Again, like Top 5 said, man, like, because again, they saw him at the airport supposedly and all that other stuff. Diddy turn your camera off. Turn the nigga's camera out. Cut the nigga's nuts out. Bebo P. Again, like I said, we not making fun of anything with any of the people who are alleging stuff. We're not making fun of the fan. Because again, this is somebody's fan. This is somebody's dad. You know what I'm saying? Like, real talk. Like, when I saw King Combs in them in handcuffs, that's when they get real. And the fans is taking pictures of your face. You know what I'm saying? Like, BOP, what's your thoughts on this, man? Because again, man, this is one of our icons, man. Like, we can't front, regardless of what's going on in his bedroom. Like, this is one of the icons we grew up on. This is one of the dudes I wanted to be like when I was growing up. You know what I'm saying? He pushed family. You know what I'm saying? It might have been a little different, but what I was sold at the time was family. Like I said, salute to Nazeem Myrick. We interviewed Nazeem Myrick, one of the one of the hitmen, excuse me. And he basically told us, man, the walk with him, Harvey, and Puff starting everything with Bad Boy, and it was organic. He told us about the day that they went back in the studio when Big died, and they had to go do the Missing You joint. The I Miss You joint. Like, this is real. This is history. You know what I'm saying? Of one of our folklore dudes. Bebo P, what's your thoughts on just the situation that happened this week? And is this a change of the guard of hip hop where we don't see gatekeepers or dudes of this nature on this status anymore? You know what I'm saying? Would there ever be another Diddy?
That era is dying away ever so fast, it seems.
Damn.
Iceberg. Time's up for the Rainbow Diddler. And with him knowing that, he's officially the Negro version of Epstein, version 2.0 though. Yeah.
Hold up real quick.
Mama Bear with the Koofy too.
I'm putting Koofies out today. Okay, keep going.
Nah. I remember saying around the time that Diddy was utilizing his connections to get Travis Scott back into the graces of the award show that Diddy was on his last leg.
It was all good just a week ago.
What did Travis Scott have to do?
Damn, he was like, yeah, I'm putting him back on. Yeah, he on the Billboard joint.
Right.
And nigga, now you on spin the block. Now you over here. Wow.
Right.
Travis
And he was
Scott
on his
dodged
last
the
leg
big
back
one.
then. At that time, he was on his last leg. I also remember saying just a few short months ago that when you go after a multi-billion with a B,
Say that again,
billion, when you go after a that's beyond.
Welcome to the
these
liquor
folks.
business, my nigga.
Right. When you go after a multi-billion-dollar valuated company and you're threatening to sue them as the listed billionaire Negro puppet that you are, that only prompts such entities to just put in that phone call. Just one, at least. We talked about that. Just one call is all it takes. Hey, Cassie.
And we ain't talking about Ghostbusters.
yeah.
That call going to
Right. Who you gonna call? First, Cassie.
Ain't going to Peter Venkman.
Right. That's
What this
all
thing?
it takes from that ilk to ruin the rest of your life.
Was this an avalanche of things? Was this the whole Cassie ain't gonna sue me. Forget her. Because I remember this thing. I remember at the BET Awards where Sexy Red was twerking in front of Bobby Jones Gospel. He had said when he received an award there, he said, salute to Cassie for being there in my dark times and bull. You know what I'm saying? He gave her props.
Yeah.
So it's just an avalanche of stuff. You know what I'm saying? Not just the Cassie bull, not just the escapades and bull. You know what I mean?
With the Koofy.
I think it's definitely coordinated. Again, when you J. Kim said this earlier, the feds are gonna get you when you most vulnerable. So they know Diddy got. I mean, I don't want to come with the conspiracies because with this, I think everybody pretty much knew. It's like Vince McMahon with the WWE when he got recently hit. You know, his thing came out. Nobody is surprised that Vince McMahon was doing foul shit.
Fact, yeah.
Right.
No one is like, oh, he didn't do that. Like, and I think it's the same with Diddy. Like, I think pretty much everyone pretty much knew Diddy was on foul timing. So I don't think it's Diddy was about to buy NBC. You know how they say
some Cosby type bull. Yeah,
no,
right.
he was on some foul timing. So I think he's got what's coming to him. But like J. Kim said, the feds are going to come at you when you're most vulnerable. So the feds to even raid right now, to raid, like get a search warrant and complete everything, have all the evidence lined up to even get that passed through the courts. They've been working on this for years.
Yes.
You're probably talking about 2015, 2016. They've been building this. So it may be coordinated to where, in a way where, okay, Cassie does this person does, like all these allegations come out in a sequence, then the feds come, because the feds know you got to settle with this person, you got to settle with this person. You're gonna have significantly less money to defend yourself against us. So it may be coordinated in that way, but I don't want to throw out any conspiracy theories that even suggest innocence from Diddy. Because again, it's like the Vince McMahon thing. It's like the Rob Schneider thing. Notice these are all white men. I'm naming Harvey Weinstein. No one is surprised about this. I think he's done some foul stuff, and the chicken's coming to roost.
You're right, man. Simply put, Diddy did this to himself at the end of the day. Not sure how things will pan out legally for him. But yeah, it's that arrogance, it's that ego. You guys said it best as well. When it comes to those alphabet boys coming after you, they have their intel, and they highly likely have legitimate, probably more than enough legitimate intel in order to play chess and to to pin you down. So it's things will never be the same for Diddy. We'll see how things transpire, because there's always developments, on a daily basis ever since the raid happened. But nonetheless, it's looking like it could be a wrap for.
Well, and this is the thing too, man. I think Top 5 said it for the biblical cats up in here, man. Pride come before the destruction. You know what I'm saying?
You say that again, brother, for the
pride
people.
Pride come before destruction. So again,
yep.
When you like this thing, you get mad at Casamigos because they saying it in the song and the record, but then homie basically like they cultivated their brand. You know what I'm saying? Diageo was like, man, this nigga gave us $1,000.
Right.
He talking about he owns something. You know what I'm saying? Get out of here with this bull. You know what I'm saying? Jenny my smack. So. And then obviously it turns into the whole Cassie situation. And again, let's be clear. He had a mansion in Atlanta that he moved out of because he said he's heard the ghost of Biggie in that joint.
Mm-hmm.
And it hits on Biggie's anniversary, a life after death.
Cocaine is a hell of a drug.
Yeah, probably from that Zaddy bottom shelf powder.
I need the fact sound effect.
Right.
But Top 5, what you thinking though, man? Like, go ahead and take us home,
low
man.
budget sugar booger.
Yeah. Go ahead and take us home, Top 5.
Yeah, man. I say this, man. The feds come, like people want to. There are times where you should use the black man argument, defending black people. They're doing black people wrong. This ain't that. The feds come in military trucks because they know what's in the house. They know your capabilities. They know you probably have security there. They're not going to come. If there's going to be any type of resistance, they're going to win. That's facts. Number 2, yes, his kids were handcuffed. We call them kids. They're adult men. Yeah. That is protocol. Like the officers have to protect themselves when they come into the house. You are going to get unhandcuffed. But for now, as we conduct our search in this mansion, which is going to take probably hours and hours all day to search, you are going to be handcuffed. It's just facts. That's facts. So it's not a black thing. It's not they're doing the black man wrong. I just hate, like, there are times where that is absolutely true.
Facts.
This is not one of those times. Facts.
Again, like I
This
said, man,
LB
the
said
saga,
super
the saga. What was one of his albums? The saga continues or something like that. Yeah. The saga continues
definitely
with some of this stuff, man.
That's
Again,
He says sex trafficking. Who knows? What the thing is, Ms. LB, the thing about sex trafficking is it's not always what we think it is. It has a very specific definition in the law. So if you're sending women across state lines to have sex and they're getting paid and they claim it's against their will, which is literally what's being alleged, that's considered sex trafficking.
R. Kelly basically had a woman who he found on tour, and she came with him, and that's considered sex trafficking. Because Paul, you know what I'm saying? So
And
that,
she
like
wasn't
nowadays,
even
if you have a girlfriend,
18
you
yet.
say, hey,
She was like,
come
what,
over
you both
to
be
another
15?
state.
Right.
Well, either or. And I'm saying just in general, it could be
Yeah.
any age of a woman. If
Right.
you say, hey, come from Alabama to
Why
over
flying
here,
her out? Right. Yeah.
and fly her and flew her out, that's considered sex trafficking. So
Right.
again, the laws are a little different if you really look into it. We're not saying anybody's innocent or guilty. It's just, hey
Right.
man, the thing's gonna play out. Again, he'll have his day in court. Unlike R. Kelly, Hannibal Kales, Diddy actually has money to actually fight this stuff because again, Kales basically had to sell his publishing. You know what I'm saying? He ain't got nothing. He was doing cruises and bull, man. He was doing dive bars and bull at the time. So again, like I
sold
said,
his DNA, he would have done it. He would've done
yeah. So again, like I said, salute to everybody in the chat, man. Again, this is a serious situation. Involves a lot of people, man. This is some Epstein kind of bull. You know what I'm saying? It's a Madoff, Epstein. It's got a lot of players involved. And again, everybody's quiet because it could be your favorite rapper that has a going on next. So you need to be quiet. You know what I'm saying? Like Top 5 said, man, it could be anybody. Because again, at that time, there wasn't no internet. There was barely AOL dial-up and bull. You know what I'm saying? So
They was on the
you could do some of this
Juno.
crazy bull. You know what I'm saying? And
This
think
was
it
around
never
the time
happens.
of
Why
card
you
catalog
think
in the
the
library.
Freaknik joint came out so late? Yolanda Adams and then was trying to make sure we end up in that joint,
Facts. She was trying to make sure we didn't see nothing.
busting that bussy open.
Right. Them cheeks out. She said, I don't want y'all to see this.
You was hanging with Trina, getting them clapped. I'm gonna sing some of these sound effects too, Top 5. So, long story short, man. Again, we just covering the news, bro. You know, we not exploiting nobody, man. Again, the other thing too is Lil Rod paused.
Man, come on
He
now.
been
So much
very,
Lil Rod, my
Little
nigga.
Bucci Rod.
really
No,
Pause.
he put in. So it's not even just a black man no more. He put in Harry Prince. Put in Cuba Gooding Jr.
Yep.
I'm surprised Trey wasn't in that joint.
You know,
Meek
radio
Mill?
was on.
Hannibal
you know,
Trey
radio
and
was
Bunny
doing
Hop
some
and Meek
stuff.
Mill.
Right.
So again, like Top
Miami
5
got
said, man,
documentation too.
got
it could
audio
be
footage.
anybody. It could be
Miami.
anybody next, man. Like Top 5 said.
Diddy's human toilet, Young Miami's on that in that legal paperwork.
I
allegedly,
like.
too.
I like when he pees on me. I like.
He likes his cocaine pink.
We
that
won't be
zaddy
on,
power
our
bottom mule.
podcast will be shut down next week. We'll be on Top 5's channel. You know what I mean?
Right.
Did he do it? And then the other thing too, 50 Cent, man, trolling crazy. Of course, he making a doc, man.
Man.
And then again, he's putting horse heads in people's bed right now. You know what I'm saying? He going
man.
crazy. So again, this is deep, man. We'll be talking about it, but again, man, yeah, the Harry Prince dog. You know what I'm saying? Prince Harry and bull.
Yep. That's facts too.
And
Yep.
let's be clear.
Harry.
Hey, this
He did
thing,
say Harry
Google
Prince,
it, man.
yeah.
We got intelligent people in the chat. Google what they were looking for in Diddy's house. A lot of rich people will have cameras in the house. Or regular people will have cameras in the house, but they have a hard drive in there. What most celebrities like Dr. Dre, you know what I'm saying,
Cloud,
Clive, those kind of cats, they have their streaming cameras and they stream to another country so you can't extradite the footage. Why you think the plane was in that little country, but Diddy was in Miami still?
On that cloud.
Push them joint and make sure them joints is good. You know what I'm saying? So again, we don't put the kufi on, but put it on a little bit tonight. Anyway, man, Top 5
Certainly.
take us home, man.
Man.
We appreciate Top 5 coming through, man. Show some love, man.
real,
Hit the
for real,
cash
man.
app, man, for our brother.
Yep. YouTube.com / Top 5 Rap website, YouTube.com Top 5 Rap website, and Top 5 Rap website.com. You already know what's going on.
Okay.
That's all I got.
Come on, man. Come on. And let's be clear. Who made this beat, though? Let's see if Top 5 know who made this beat. Ski.
That's right.
Ski
I'm
on the
trying to
beat.
think. This on Camplo's second joint?
Nah, this is John Blaze.
Yeah.
Johnny
Really?
Blaze
That
ain't
Fat
damn
Joe,
thing
Nas,
changed.
Rakim,
The posse cut.
the posse cut, Raekwon.
Okay,
It's
you
a
just
Ski
put me
beat.
on.
Yeah,
You just
Ski
put
beat
me
joint.
on.
Yeah, check it out. Yeah, Ski. I was like, I had to interview with Ski.
Check
Yeah,
that
man.
out, man.
Check
Plus-
John Blaze. Yeah, man,
That
crazy.
joint.
That
is
damn
so
thing
dope,
changed.
too.
But top
every
5, man.
verse on there.
Every verse is crazy.
Oh,
I
yeah.
put the
It's simple mathematics. You gotta love us 'cause
Cash
Joe
App in. I put his Cash App in the joint. Please bless our brother. We will be doing it as well. Again, go to his channel, subscribe. Man, this dude is honestly real talk, man. One of the best dudes in the game. If you love
Absolutely.
hip hop, if you love how cats break bars down, review albums, if you're an independent artist and you want to get your joint review, pause. Holla at Top 5 Rap website, man. Again, we salute you, brother. J Camp, Big OP, take us home, man.
Yeah, man. Salute the top 5 all day. Appreciate you, brother, for hopping on today.
Pause
Rocking
it,
out
no
with
Diddy.
his paws, you know. Man, salute to the chat as always, man. First of all, good to be back in the building, man.
Come on.
Good to be back
Yeah. Welcome
stateside,
back,
too,
J.
man.
Camp.
Good to be
We
back
had to
in the
take
building,
Diddy
but-
overseas. We know what it is.
Man.
Just
it
came
feel
back
good,
fresh from
man,
my
but-
Antigua.
Yeah, Antigua.
Man, I wish it was Antigua, but nah, I ain't been in Antigua, but yeah, B-Bo P, man, take us home, man.
Hey,
Land
Top
that plane,
5, we
bro.
appreciate you for rocking with us for the first time, and don't be a stranger. You know what I'm saying? In fact, you're not a stranger no more now that you've been on.
Yeah, now you can come in the house, you can wash dishes, man. You can vacuum before we
Right.
start passing
Right.
out.
You ain't gotta take your shoes off.
Yeah,
Just
take your
come
shoes
right
off.
on in, man.
Right,
man.
right.
man.
J Camp, again, welcome back, man, to the Fresh Out platform. You know what I'm saying? Iceberg, great job on the hosting as usual. And thank you all as well for rocking with us. And definitely go to support Top 5 if you haven't, or, you never heard of him. You know what I'm saying? Definitely go to that brother's YouTube page, website, and all of his online platforms. Support the brother because he definitely kills it when it comes to online hip-hop commentary.
indeed.
With that said, shout out to our lovers. Shout out to our haters. And with that said, peace, God bless, and catch us next rip. Iceberg. Land this soul plane.
Hey, man,
not
this
the
is the
love,
thing,
not
man,
the love
real
air
talk,
plane.
man. It's
Not love
Easter.
air, but the soul plane.
It's
not
Easter
love air.
weekend, man. Like I said, man, if you ain't called your mama, your
Snoop
daddy, if
flying
they
it.
still living, if you ain't talked to your grandparents, man, again, this platform is built off of family. Then it's built.
Facts.
Then the next step is hip hop. Let's be clear.
Come on
Make sure
now.
you talk to your family, call them cats, make sure they're good. And family is not who you related to. That's relatives. That's blood. Your family is who you talk to every day that rocks with you, and it's loyalty. You know what I'm
Say
saying?
that.
So
Give 'em that
again,
call.
loyalty is family, bro. Make sure you calling everybody, checking on, make sure they good. Even the strong need to be checked on, man. So again, salute to everybody. And like I said, that's why we ended it, man. Like, we praying for Diddy, man. You know what I'm saying? No hate, you know what I'm saying? But if you got something going on, you gonna pay the maker. You know what I mean? It is what it is. But again, J Camp, Top 5, man. Bebo P. Much love to the
Iceberg
chat, man.
Slim.
We love y'all, man. Iceberg Slim, you know what's going down, man. We'll check you. Hey, man, Top 5 stay on too, man. But salute y'all, man. Have a good night, man. Peace. We'll see y'all next week.
Salute
Eat some food,
and
eat some fried
peace.
chicken.